Hello, everybody. Thank you very much. I always appreciate you watching. I'm Orlando Ruiz Jr. Welcome to another classic movie review. I'm a big fan of action movies. I love martial arts movies. This one right here is pretty popular still. Came out in the year 2000. Stars Jet Li, also Aaliyah, Isaiah Washington, Delroy Lindo. You have Russell Wong and Anthony Anderson. The name of the film is Romeo Must Die. In this movie, Jet Li plays the character of Han, who is locked up at the beginning of the film. He was an ex-cop, and his family is in organized crime. His father is a big crime boss. At the very beginning of the film, something happens to Jet Li's younger brother, and so the movie is basically a revenge movie where Jet Li's character Han gets mixed up with another family out in the Bay Area after coming to the States after breaking free out of prison, and meets the character of Trish, played by Aaliyah. At the very beginning, the movie establishes that there is a bit of a rivalry between the black criminal underworld and the Asian criminal underworld, and there are casualties on both sides. Not very long into the movie, Jet Li's character Han and Trish, Aaliyah's characters, both meet for the first time, both unaware that they are both a part of two opposing and competing crime families. And the first scene that they're in together, there is some flirting that goes on, and throughout the movie, every now and then, he tries to get in the mix with her. But the movie doesn't really go into much of the romance. It's more of a straight-on, full-on action movie with a bit of that hinted at. And I think it would have been a lot more interesting if they would have delved into that a little bit more, because the romance angle is only suggested. Now, although the movie may be titled Romeo Must Die, and the trailers of this movie made it seem like it was going to be some kind of a hip-hop martial arts adaptation of William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, there's nothing really Shakespearean about this movie in terms of where the plot goes. It doesn't really resemble the play at all. Only some of the bare bones in terms of characters and some of the inspiration in terms of the setup is used. But for the most part, this is a pretty, well, I don't want to say original story, but it's its own thing. Overall, this is a martial arts action movie, and if you haven't seen it, then you may be asking, well, how are the fight scenes in this movie? Well, I gotta say that kind of just depends on you, the viewer, because if you're into certain kinds of action movies where you want more realistic kind of fighting, then this might not do it for you. Because when I was growing up, I was watching a lot of stuff like, Enter the Dragon and Jackie Chan movies, but I also saw some stuff like Iron Monkey. Then eventually I got into Crouching Tiger when that came out. And so I was aware of wire work, especially when The Matrix came out, because that really blew the lid off of wire work in action movies in Hollywood. But this was from the same producer, Joel Silver, who a year before this movie came out produced The Matrix, and so you get a sense that when they made that, they liked that wire work so much they thought, all right, that's all we're gonna do now. This movie does not take place in The Matrix. It's supposed to take place in the real world. It takes place in Oakland, California. Due to the lack of realism in the fight scenes, because of all the overuse of wire work, it really kind of hinders the martial arts choreography here, which is actually rather good, from Corey Yen. Rest in peace, Corey Yen passed away in 2002. I remember when this movie was coming out and I saw a making of featurette, and they mentioned Corey Yen was doing the choreography, and I knew Corey Yen as the director of one of my favorite 80s martial arts flicks, No Retreat, No Surrender. Also directed Yes Madam, starring Michelle Yeoh and Cynthia Rothrock. And prior to Romeo Must Die, Corey Yen had already worked with Jet Li, directing some of his most badass Hong Kong martial arts action movies that were later retitled and re-released in the States after his big American breakout in 1998 with Lethal Weapon 4. If you ever go down the Jet Li rabbit hole of movies and you want to check out movies like The Enforcer or The Defender, Corey Yen also directed the first Transporter flick from 2002 with Jason Statham. And given that this was another collaboration with Jet Li, I really thought this could have been so much better. Something else I gotta mention is the lack of chemistry between our main two stars, Jet Li and Aaliyah, who are supposed to be two people that have kind of a budding romance in the film. Both of our two main stars are very charming, have a lot of spunk, a lot of charisma, and are very likable, and that goes a long way. Now, when it comes to Aaliyah and her performance in this movie, I gotta say, I think that had her life not been cut short so tragically a year after this movie came out in that fatal plane crash, she could have gone on to be a legit actress. She had some real, makings of a star. She was beautiful, she had, a natural talent, and overall, I think she's very good in the movie. If you want to see some Jet Li martial arts action with plenty of excessive and obvious wire work and a little bit of a hip hop angle with just a pinch of Shakespeare thrown in there for good measure, then you might want to check out 2000's Romeo Must Die. Before I go, I want to quickly mention the director of this movie, Andrzej Bartkowiak. This was his directorial debut. After this, he went on to direct Exit Wounds in 2001 with Steven Seagal and DMX, who has a small part in this movie. Also, may he rest in peace. And he also did Cradle to the Grave with DMX and Jet Li. And he also went on to do Doom in 2005. And then later on, he did Street Fighter, The Return of Chun-Li. So he did kind of fall off before directing his own movies, starting with this one. Andrzej Bartkowiak was a director of photography on a lot of classics, movies like The Verdict with Paul Newman, also worked on Terms of Endearment. He also did the DP work on Twins, on Speed, on U.S. Marshals. That's a pretty damn fine list of movie credits to have under your name, and so for that, I give Andrzej Bartkowiak all the respect in the world for his work as a DP. From 2000, Romeo Must Die. I give it 2.5 stars. It's a movie that you can find on streaming. Those of you that know me know I'm a hard copy kind of guy, so you know I'm going to have my copy right here on hand. And I have plenty of 2.5 star movies on my shelf because I love so bad they're good kinds of movies, which is the category that this movie definitely falls under. And I will eventually get into some more Jet Li movies, the better Jet Li movies, because prior to his American debut with Lethal Weapon 4, he was some great Hong Kong action movies like Once Upon a Time in China and Fist of Legend, and of course I mentioned The Defender and The Enforcer. But yeah, he has some really awesome movies, and this movie is really just the tip of the iceberg. Thank you all very much for watching this classic movie review. I always appreciate it. If you're into the classics, if you're into movies, if you're into this kind of thing, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications on more reviews from me coming out very soon. If you're a returning viewer, thank you very much for all your support because I very much appreciate it. And please don't forget to comment, share, like, because it always helps out the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Everybody take care of each other. Till next time, peace out, and God bless.